Hello. I'm not sure if I ever shared how I make my molds, at least my fancier molds, other than the typical flat open face molds. I do things a little differently because, well, actually I'm lazy. Instead of doing a whole clay up on parts and everything like that, I tend to make these crazy boxes that are more the shape of the piece, like this piece, the engine for the Star Destroyer. Pretty big ass piece, as you can see. So what I did is I make this box that's kind of shaped like it, as you can see. Okay, this is the inside of the box. You can see it has these shapes in here. These shapes go in, can't see it in frame. They actually fit in here to take up space, so it doesn't use as much rubber. And also, when you pull this box apart, you know, because obviously this is used over and over again. These little boxes I made out of PVC board, by the way. By doing it this way, it makes the mold a little easier and more flexible. So by adding all these spacing blocks and everything, it does help a lot. So, yeah, this one just sort of fits like, whoop, let's get it right there. Fits like that. And then, of course, what I'll do is put that over the mold. And I'll show it to you here. So you can see it fits over the piece. I'll fill it here. The part's down in there. And you can see those blocks in there to take up space, you know. So that's just one way I do molds. Like here, for instance, is the head. Kind of the same thing. Square box that comes apart. After I'm done, use it over and over again. Use rubber bands around it. And since I added part of the neck to the head this time, you do it this way, so when you pour it up a resin, it should come out fine. Then tall molds, of course, like this is for the display stands. These are the bulkheads. They're done up on end because they have two sides. So I don't do two-piece molds. I do not do two-piece molds like the old way where you clay it and use either fiberglass or use plaster Paris. I just don't do that for two reasons. One, the molds are going to die after 30 times, and to do those kind of molds takes like 2 or 3 days. I don't know about you, but life's short, you know, what the hell. And nothing wrong with doing it that way. I mean, in some ways it works better than the way I do it, of course. But like I said, I'm doing it this way. It's done in a day, ready to go. And it seems to work just as good. So anyways, so here's the molds so far, all stacked up. These are all the open face molds for it. Now there's the only ones I haven't molded yet are these bad boys, because I want, so big I can't even get them in the frame. I want to try to do them as one piece. Before, what I did is I would, like on the top, I'd cut it off here so it would fit in the pressure pot. Here, I'll show you what I mean. Well, let me use one of the other ones. One of the bottom pieces. See, with the bottom piece, I have to cut. The bottom piece I have to cut about this much out off of it so it'll fit in the pressure pot. And I'll show you what I mean by showing you the pressure pot. Piece, boom, doesn't fit. So you imagine you're going to make a mold. It's not going to fit in there for anything. I mean, you could probably squeeze the mold in there, but then you'd only be able to do one at a time. As you can see, I have a pressure pot where you can do 2 things at a time with that shelf. So next, pour up the molds. I think most of you know how that's done. Hello everyone. Well, I had to make a change on the Star Destroyer, the top buildings. I originally had it to where the buildings were all one piece, like, I'll hold it up, like this, see? I was going to mold it that way. The only problem with this is when you mold it like this, that means it's going to be upside down. Well, put it apart. Like this. Like this. So if you, let me take this off. So what you got is an undercut here. All this will have bubblelicious in here, as well as this trench detail. Bubbles, or the resin won't even go in there, for that matter. As well as here. So I had to go back to the old-fashioned way, like I did originally. Separate them, of course. Boom. Like this. And I'll mold them this way, or shall I say, this way. That way all the detail is facing down, thus there's no bubbles trapped. All right, so you got one, okay, 2 more pieces. No, 3 more pieces, because you got the neck piece too. On the back of this, you know, that goes together. Cut it out to where this neck piece here, which I'm not done with yet, will fit. Yep, that closer look. Will fit like that, and just glue it in like that, boom, done. So that adds maybe another 5-10 minutes to your build-up. So sorry guys, I hate doing it this way too. I like to make it easy, not just for you guys, but for myself. You know, so I'm lazy, and as lazy as I am to make it quicker and easier to do, I guess it benefits everyone in the long run. So anyway, so yep, from this to this. Sorry, what can I do? Just a heads up. Oh yeah, more heads up out here. With the exception of those pieces there, I'm gonna wait till we get to well, first find out if we get out the house, because I want to do them in Tennessee where the humidity's, you know, it's not as much humidity. That way I don't have to put it in this thing. If I have to fit them in there, that means I have to cut off the outside edge a bit and make that a separate piece as well, which means more pieces. And you know, it's kind of like the old one was. A lot of people will notice, whoever has the old starter stir, the corner, outside corner is missing because it won't fit in that. It's not wide enough, and I'm not going to make another pressure pot. Too expensive. So I'm hoping to do it as an open face pour. The humidity is such here where it foams up, but it may not be that way in Tennessee. So I mean, I know there'll be days that it is humid, but for the most part it might be okay. So but anyways, here's all the molds, the engine mold, various side molds, the head mold. That's for the display thing there. These are all just like engine parts and whatnot. The display stand. That's like a building section. Like, funny, I can't remember what that is. Weird. Anyways, actually I know what that is now. That and I see it peeking through a little bit. Damn, I gotta top that off. That's the front. That is just sort of a part that wraps around the front of the very front building there, and it supports all the trim detail, you know, trench detail, and tops and bottom fronts. So anyways, wide shot here. That's what I did today. Plus I also had to fill some orders, you know, a couple of spinner orders and a ghost ship, which I'm gonna do that tomorrow. And probably I'll stop taking orders here when we find out when the house, if the house is a yes, then I'll suspend all regular orders like models that I already have kits of. So, but that goes with it. All right then. Well, I guess we'll talk later. Bye.